One person looks at a tree and sees a thing of beauty. Another person sees only a health and safety risk. Trees are the oldest land-living organisms on the planet, which shows how little trees need us. But we need trees to survive. I've come to Rathfarnham Castle to meet Mary Keenan of the Tree Council of Ireland, a national voluntary body formed 25 years ago to promote tree culture in Ireland.
Our aim is to increase people's awareness and appreciation of trees and woodlands in general, and in particular to promote planting of trees, care of trees, conservation of trees, and most important is to enjoy trees as well. And despite a lot of advances in the last 100 years, Ireland is still one of the least wooded countries in Europe. Our level of wood cover is only 11% compared with the European average of about 36%. And given the current targets in afforestation that we have, it would take us about 80 years to actually catch up with the rest of Europe at the level of tree planting we're doing. So through the activities of the Tree Council, we endeavour to try and boost the level of tree planting beyond just the targets that we have to try and catch up a little bit quicker.
With only 2 staff, the Council runs school initiatives, planting programmes, an information office and website, along with publishing a variety of books and staging National Tree Week with over 300 events nationally. Conservation of our current tree population is equally important to the Tree Council.
In 1999, the Tree Council of Ireland joined with the Irish Tree Society, and we began collecting records for the Tree Register of Ireland. This is a record of Ireland's champion trees, and these are the tallest, the greatest girthed, the largest trees of their kind in a particular region. Since we started that project, we have accumulated about 9,000 records of champion trees. Well, we summarised the main ones in a book, The Champion Trees of Ireland 2005, which is a county by county record of the tallest or the largest girthed trees for each county. The Heritage Trees Register is our more recent project. This is a record of trees with a story, trees of historical significance, and at present Aubrey Fennell is our research arborist travelling the country searching for these trees. The project has been funded by the Heritage Council and has generated a huge amount of public interest.
I've joined Aubrey today as he continues the heritage tree hunt in Rossana, County Wicklow. So Aubrey, this does look like an amazing tree, but why is it a heritage tree?
Well, first of all, it's a sessile oak. It's extremely tall. It's got a trunk which goes right up into the crown. This would have been a perfect ship's mast back 200 years ago. In fact, there's a tree not so far away from here in which they were offered 100 guineas for the Royal Yacht in about 1900. It's in the halfpenny place to this tree. And that's what's so exciting about this tree. It's just got a perfect shape. It's about 250 years old. And I would hate to see anything happen to it. But what constitutes a heritage tree? It could be because of its size, because it has a story, it's culturally or historically important, or it could be a landmark tree. Well, I've been looking for champion trees for the last 10 or 12 years. A lot of trees I've come across don't come under that umbrella. They could be at holy wells, they could be in housing estates in which were informally on old domains. So following up on these trees, recording them and measuring them, and with the help of the public, with the help of the tree organisations such as Irish Tree Society and CRAN, Forestry Service, we've come up with a lot of trees to track down and record. We were the most poorly wooded country 100 years ago. We now have trees, both which were planted a couple of 100 years ago and which are now being planted. And what's most exciting to me is that the fact that we now have woodpeckers have returned. They disappeared for 500 years through lack of tree cover. And now in the last 2 years they are breeding here in County Wicklow. I think this is most encouraging, most exciting, and that nature, given a chance, will return to reclaim.
So this is the Wesley tree, named after John Wesley, the founder of Methodism. Back in about 1785, he'd been having it tough been thrown out of towns, and he found sympathetic hosts here, and he preached underneath this tree. It's such a magnificent old tree that it would be worth its place on any database of heritage trees. I'm just getting its GPS position. The satellites are now online. All the information I'm just tapping in here, and its girth, its measurement, it's over 11 meters in girth, and it's about 17 meters high. Like old people, it tends to get a bit smaller and shorter, but a bit fatter as it gets older. And I just plug this into my laptop and then send it by email to Botanic Gardens.
Amongst the heritage trees recorded by Aubrey are rag trees, usually found by holy wells, like St Flannan's Shrine, Inna, County Clare, or Disrag tree in Kilmogue, County Kilkenny. Dai O'Hogan, who has written on Irish folklore, met us at St Bridget's Well in County Kildare to tell us about Ireland's history of tree worship.
In recent generations, we have a lot of respect for trees, but there are many reasons for tracing this respect backwards and seeing that it was originally veneration of trees. And in very ancient Ireland, as was common in Celtic cultures, the tree was a symbol of the father deity. And often the tree, sacred tree, would stand beside a sacred well, the sacred well being the symbol of the mother deity. As we have here indeed, trees in ancient Ireland were often associated with inaugural sites for chieftains and kings, so that there might be a stone on which the chieftain or the king would sit, and there would be a tree nearby which represented the tribal good fortunes. And that comes on into modern times in the respect that we have for trees that grow in graveyards. It's almost as if the venerated dead are represented by the tree, so that it was regarded traditionally in Ireland as a very great offence, actually sacrilegious, to cut down a tree in a graveyard. Christianity took particular forms, I would say, in early Ireland, and it was more appealing to rural civilization, had more regard for rural civilization in the Irish context. And for that reason, aspects of the landscape which were sacred in the pre-Christian world in Ireland became sacred also in the Christian world. And the tree is a very good example of that. A person resorts to the tree which is dedicated to the saint, as here St Bridget for example, and a person leaves behind tokens like these nicely coloured pieces of cloth, tokens of one's devotion to the saint. But it's interesting that the tokens are hung on the tree, so that the tree still plays a very important role.
Baby pictures and bibs, photographs of family members tied with ribbons and holy medals to the tree to petition a saint to intercede for important intentions, demonstrate how enduring tree worship remains embedded within the Irish psyche.